We'll now move on to some of the reactions coming in after the death sentence of the ousted Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Dhaka's close neighbour, New Delhi, has said that it has noted the verdict. The Indian government added that the country remains committed to the best interests of the people of Bangladesh and ensured that it will always engage constructively with all stakeholders. This, as the International Crimes Tribunal's verdict has created a political storm in Bangladesh. Her party, the Awami League, has said that her trial for the charges of crimes against humanity was politically motivated. The party condemned and rejected the alleged farcical verdict, adding that the citizens of Bangladesh will also not accept it. The Awami League called for a shutdown on November the 18th, vowing to struggle till the country's interim leader, Muhammad Yunus, steps down.
This is a politically motivated case and has been tried by an illegal tribunal conducted by anti-liberation forces. No words can aptly condemn this farcical, deceitful verdict. We reject it strongly.
However, the Yunus-led interim government has denied allegations that Hasina's trial was politically motivated. Instead, the government has lauded that the death sentences handed down to the former Prime Minister and former Home Minister mark a historic verdict. After Awami League's call for a shutdown, the Yunus administration has warned against unruly behaviour, provocation-driven actions, violence or unlawful activities. It has urged people to remain calm, restrained and responsible, and said that any attempt to create anarchy or disturb public peace would get a strict response. Amid the growing uproar over Hasina's trial and now the verdict, Bangladesh's interim leader Yunus instead chose to highlight the significance of promised elections in February 2026. He called the upcoming vote an election to save the country. Yunus said that the 2026 polls were to fulfill the aspirations of the 2024 uprising, which led to Hasina's ouster in August last year. He added that it will determine its course for the next century and must be one to survive as an independent nation. Meanwhile, the Bangladesh National Party, or BNP, which is now one of the largest political parties in the country after a ban on Awami League's activities, has also reacted to the verdict in Hasina's trial. The party said that justice has been delivered and added that it will work to ensure the rule of law in Bangladesh.
This verdict is a milestone. Although the punishment may not fully match the gravity of the crimes, it will serve as an example so that no future government or individual can become fascist, authoritarian, or dictatorial.
Ahead of the verdict, protests had already broken out in Dhaka. And now, with this sentencing, will the Yunus administration to be able to control law and order? Or will this mark another turning chapter in Bangladesh's political landscape? That remains to be seen. And for more on this, we have with us Nashir Uddin, a senior journalist joining us live from Dhaka. Thank you for joining us, Nashir.
Thank you.
Let's first look at what the significance of this verdict and death penalty is in the midst of political uncertainty and public unrest.
Well, there is a certain degree of significance of the verdict and the death penalty of Sheikh Hasina, especially in the middle of Bangladesh's ongoing political uncertainty and public interest. Especially when you do take the consideration of Sheikh Hasina's party, Awami League, into consideration, we see Awami League is a huge political party, and which is deeply rooted to the political history of Bangladesh. And the party is the one that led Bangladesh's liberation war. So taking all these into account, we can easily understand the population of there is a huge population of the country which is still in favor of Awami League and their leader Sheikh Hasina, now who has been given death penalty in the first case of International Crimes Tribunal today. If we take a close look at the allies of Awami League, they are also not happy with this verdict as given today. against Hasina and her cabinet colleague Kamal and her police chief Mamun. So if we think about the consequence, we need to look at the happenings over the last couple of days. Awami League already announced complete shutdown across the country for the last few days. They have tried to enforce countrywide complete shutdown. So apparently that has not impacted that much, but there is a voice being raised in favor of Hasina. We cannot deny this truth, considering the political landscape here in Bangladesh. If we now consider the case of public unrest is coming from that particular section of the people, not in people in general. Okay, so it will continue to lead further political uncertainty and public unrest as a certain section of the political quarter fear.
Absolutely. And let's look at that uncertainty. Of course, elections announced for February next year. How do you think this ruling will impact those elections?
Well, this is, as the government says, as the Dr. Yunus-led government says, this will not impact the elections as scheduled in the February next year. It will not impact that much. But the allies of Awami League, they have continued raising their voice over the course of last few days, to be precise. They are calling for an inclusive election in February. If that election is to be inclusive, they mean by the word inclusive the participation of Awami League and their allies. That's pretty apparent and clear. The question is whether the government is going to allow Awami League and their allies in the election, who are accused of rigging previous 3 elections on the trot. Election in 2014, election in 2018, and the election in 2024, January 7 election last year. So, as of today, Awami League has been banned, not their allies are banned. So that is a case of further curiosity, whether government bans them. But there is no such talk circulating in the political quarter right now, or there is no further talk of this kind in the government machinery that the Awami League allies will also be banned following the ban of Awami League. Okay, so if their allies are going to participate in February elections, that is something to be seen, how Awami League sees the opportunity. Once again, I must not forget to mention one thing pretty clearly from Dhaka. That is, there is a sense of jubilation. There is a sense of joy. Sweets have been distributed. People have come out with procession with big smile on their face after hearing the verdict of the International Crimes Tribunal. There is a large section of people, they are doing so. And so altogether, I should say, election is something that is from government side. Yes, nobody can put a stop to the election. Nobody can stop the election as scheduled in February. Government is claiming that, and so is being uttered by now the large political platforms like BNP, Jamaat Islami, and other leading political parties in the country. They are saying yes, election is a must in February, and Awami League's allies, they are not opposing election, but they are only fighting for their cause. They are talking about their participation. So election is something still, I should rather say, government has a big role, and the election
Absolutely.
commission.
Of course, and all eyes heading towards that election, but division on the ground, uncertainty after this verdict, something we will continue to monitor. Nasir, thank you ever so much for your time and insights.
Thank you too.